Cancerians, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings, Tarot from the Heart. We're going to do your week ahead reading the 12th to the 18th of August 2019. We're doing the weekly check-in. So for this, guys, we are using this week the Barbara Moore Tarot in Wonderland, also illustrated by Eugene Smith, and she has another deck. I bought this deck ages ago, never used it, thought, oh, I'm not sure about that, and then suddenly took it out today and I was like, this is amazing. So we're going to be using, this is another Barbara Moore deck, really, really good. I think it's illustrated by Julia Jeffries. And we're also using another deck, the Fae Tarot, which is just real fun. It's an amazing deck as well. Spiritual guidance for this particular part of the reading is The Angel Answers by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. For your 15 card general love and work reading, we use the Spellcasters Tarot. You probably wonder why I use so many decks. I just like using lots of decks for readings. I don't usually do that with personal readings, but certainly for the generals I really enjoy that. And also spiritual advice for romance is the Romance Angels. Spiritual advice for your work and finances is the Angels of Abundance. And general advice, spiritual advice for the week concerning this area is the Tea Leaf Fortune cards. Okay, let's get started, and we're going to give it a quick shuffle. Okay, guys, we've got our decks down. Sorry if you keep seeing me kind of brushing the cover. It's just that I washed the cover fresh yesterday, dried it, and then it still gets bits on it, and it annoys me because, you know, when you're doing tarot readings, you've got to have a fresh, clean space. My house is very clean, by the way, but you know, on the desk you get these little fluffy bits, so I do apologise. I try my best to keep them at bay. I always wash the covers and everything that I use for tarot readings. Okay, let's make a start. So here are you guys, Cancerian, during the week. You are the Six of Cups, which is nice. I feel that, you know, because you are the Six of Cups, you're very close to family. Because that's, I mean, one of the meanings of the Six of Cups is definitely the past. If you get this in a love reading, somebody from your past could definitely be showing up. But if you are the Six of Cups, sometimes as the Six of Cups you can be quite vulnerable because it's a child card. And sometimes, you know, so some of you guys might be feeling a little bit vulnerable during the week. You might be feeling a little bit naive or uncertain. Remember, on the Six of Cups, usually what happens is there's a child either, you know, giving a bunch of flowers to an older child or an adult, or they're taking a bunch of flowers from an older child or an adult that they don't really know whether to take it, or they're playing with their little friend, or they're playing with a family member. You know, it's a, you know, if I do a reading on myself for the day and that Six of Cups comes up, I know that my twin sister's going to give me a call, because me and my twin always show as being the Six of Cups, because we're twins and we have a very, very, very strong bond that nobody can ever break, you know. So some of you guys very close to family this week, very connected with that Six of Cups. Some of you guys probably also thinking about the past, very connected to issues surrounding the past with that Six of Cups energy showing there. But I think more than anything that this is more to do with the very close connections that you feel to the people around you, whether it's your family, your lover, or your husband or your wife. I feel that this week you're feeling very, very close. And some of you guys, again, as I've mentioned, this could be something to do with a little bit of naivety this week, because the Six of Cups is also a card that indicates naivety, not quite knowing what to do and needing to be shown the ropes or needing to be given help. Usually the Six of Cups comes up in maybe a work reading. You could be going in as an apprentice or something like that into a job. What's the theme for the week for you guys? The theme for the week is strength. You're going to need to have some strength. You're going to need to have, it's all about having inner strength and overcoming of obstacles. That's what strength card is. It's about fortitude. It's like a Nine of Wands. It's about hanging in there and knowing that if you're going through difficult periods, it's going to overcome. You're going to overcome it. So the theme for the week is all about having strength. The strength is about having personal strength. So whereas the Chariot is all about learning how to master and how to navigate and how to take control of an external situation, the Strength card is all about how we take control of an inner situation. And that means you're going to need a certain amount of strength and controlling, self-confidence and that type of thing. Because I think that this is, for some of you guys, it's all about, perhaps there is a bit of lack of confidence with that Six of Cups. Perhaps this week is a week about kind of not knowing where you are or what you're doing or being new to a situation. The Six of Cups can also mean being completely new to something. So some of you guys, I get the impression with that Six of Cups this week is showing you guys as being kind of a little bit naive, a little bit kind of vulnerable, being completely new to something. And the theme of the week is all about having strength, and also with the theme with being possibly naive with that Six of Cups energy and being a little bit green, because there's a lot of green. Look at the, no, sorry, it's not green on that one, but you know, this one's got a lot of blue on it and that type of thing. But there's a child here with an egg, and eggs usually mean new life and birth, you know, new beginnings. Is an egg, if it drops the egg, I mean, there's lots of eggs on the floor here as well, which is interesting. But I feel that really what's happening here is it's almost like you're gaining your wings, your angel wings. I'm noticing the wings on the child here. But I just get the impression that with this week, with that Six of Cups Cancerians, this is about some of you guys being new and a little bit naive to a situation here. And the theme of the week is all about maybe how you overcome or how you master your emotions and your feelings and your nerves and your fears concerning that energy there of the Six of Cups. What is the theme goal? Sorry, what's the key goal for the week? Your key goal for the week is that, now that showed up for Scorpio, which I did about two signs ago. Five of Cups. Well, I certainly feel that the theme for the, you know, the key goal, and when I see the Five of Cups in the upright, it is kind of a bit of a negative card. It is. I won't lie. This card is the, sorry darlings, I'm just finishing some coffee here while I'm talking to you, but you know, the Five of Cups is about disappointment and regret. It's about feeling really sad. It's about facing the past and thinking about the past, and that's where it's very similar to the Six of Cups sometimes, where we can be kind of conditioned by the past. Not even conditioned by it. There's a situation with the Five of Cups that sometimes we just can't forget about. Sometimes with the Five of Cups, we're still connected very much to the past, and it's difficult to let go. But I think that your key goal for the past, for this card, for this Five of Cups, and I'll explain it in the way that I explained Scorpio, Cancerians, was to, if you look at her, she's looking out. So she's almost reminiscing. And I think that your key goal is to, remember, fives mean change. They mean after a tumultuous and difficult situation, finally there's a positive outcome from that five. So even though there are challenges with the five, it doesn't last. And from those challenges, you end up being a better person. You end up learning something that will benefit you going forward. So it's all about learning lessons. And remember, the fives are ruled by the Hierophant. So I actually feel that your key goal is to take one last look at a situation. Can you see her face? She's like, oh, I remember this. So it's almost like it's to take one last look at a situation, to acknowledge your feelings of maybe sadness and regret about it, but then the goal is after that to let it go and move on. And I think that that might be the key goal for some of you guys here. Okay, which might be why you're showing as being the Six of Cups energy showing here. It's almost like there's rebirth here. There's a you're being born again, if that makes any sense. And remember, the Six of Cups does deal with the themes of reconnection, renewal, and even to a certain extent, I think, reincarnation as well. Being that this is a past card, this is the card that talks about past lives and past soul connections. So it's almost like this week you're being reborn and you're being reinvented with the Six of Cups energy. Cancerians, I get the impression that you're being reincarnated from a situation because your key goal is to take one last look with that Five of Cups. Remember it, mourn it, but then move on from it. And that's why the theme for the week is strength. It's overcoming a pretty kind of tumultuous situation for some of you Cancerians with that strength energy showing there. What is the obstacle that you're going to need to overcome? The Wheel of Fortune, which is called the Fortune Fairy. I feel that there's two things with the obstacle with the Wheel of Fortune. Whatever it is that you are, and this might be love, because it's usually love that makes people react like this, is it not, Cancerians? It's usually love that makes people feel so intense. And as I'm seeing you guys kind of going through a reincarnation stage this week, you're going through a sense, it's not even being reinvented, you're being reincarnated, you're being reborn, I would say, for some of you guys this week, with the Six of Cups being the soul connection to past lives card, or one of them. And there you are saying, well, my goal is to take one last look, to remember it, to mourn it, but then to move on from it, because that's the number 5, right? But the obstacle you need to overcome is, it might be, number 1, with the Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune energy, that you have a very much a karmic tie. You have a karmic connection to whatever this energy is, because we do have that Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Cups. This is like a karmic connection from the past. The Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune is a karmic relationship. If you get it with the Two of Cups, it's karmic. It's meant to be. It's your destiny. It's your fate. So what the obstacle you might need to overcome is that this is your fate. This is what was meant to happen. This is what was destined for you with that Wheel of Fortune energy. The other thing I'm thinking with the Wheel of Fortune, because it tends to go round and round and round in a circle, Cancerians, it might be that the obstacle you need to overcome is that this is never ending. 1 minute you might be down about the situation, the next minute you might be up. That's the way that the Wheel of Fortune works. And sometimes if this energy is like this, it's out of your control. It's never ending. You might be on a never ending cycle of sometimes saying to yourself, I am reborn. I'm just going to take one last look at the situation and then move on. Well, how many times have you done that? Do you see where I'm coming from? So therefore, if it's a case of with that Wheel of Fortune that you keep saying the same thing or having the same intention over and over and over again with that Wheel of Fortune, that might be why the theme of the week is strength. Having the strength to cut ties with whatever this situation is once and for all, and not continuously, involving yourself in the repeat and play syndrome of the situation. What is it that you could be accomplishing this week, Cancerians? Well, the Empress, personal growth, expansion, abundance. Could be something to do with money, could be something even to do with pregnancy for some of you guys potentially, just as an off-the-cuff remark, because the card means those things. But the Empress is all about expansion and growth. She's ruled by Libra, and she's ruled by Venus, and she's ruled by Taurus as well. So the Taurian part of herself is all about her values and what she values the most. But being ruled by Venus, it's all about love. What she loves, what she cares about. Libra is the sign of fairness and balance, mental fairness and balance. So I feel that you guys could be accomplishing mental fairness and balance, being that Libra is one of the ruling signs of Empress. But also I feel that one of the key accomplishments could be all about what you value and knowing. Because love, Venus, when we look at love, it's all about the things that we truly love and value. So some of you guys, what you could be accomplishing is not only mental, what's the word I'm looking for? Mental balance concerning this situation by the end of the week or going forward at least. For some of you guys, it might be that you're achieving a sense of value or knowing what your value is in this. And you're starting to understand it with the Empress energy. A sense of self-worth for some of you guys in the matter. What do you need to avoid this week? Well, this is probably the person. Cancerians, it's a King of Swords. He's Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. I mean, this guy, look at him. He's sat on the wall. He's got his sword. He's got his book. He's a great believer in truth and honesty. But you need to avoid somebody. This could be somebody else's truth. It doesn't have to be yours. Because the King of Swords is a great believer in truth and honesty. But it doesn't mean that just because he believes in whatever truth he believes in, that it necessarily has to be your truth. So I think that, number one, there is somebody probably that you need to avoid here. And maybe this is the person that you have the karmic connection with. This is a past karmic life. You've lived a past karmic life together for some of you guys. And that's the obstacle. That's why one of the obstacles is that wheel. Because you've had a past karmic existence together. Wheel of Fortune and that Six of Cups energy. And your objective, Cancerian, is to take one last look. And then leave. Let it go. But it might be that this is the person that you need to avoid. King of Swords energy. And it might also be, if it's not a person, then maybe this is something to do with your rationale. Because it might be that rationally, remember the King of Swords is all about head over heart decisions. So he'll make decisions concerning from his head rather than his heart. So maybe it's saying as well that you need to avoid making decisions on this based on your head rather than your heart. Because I think that it's more your heart that is telling you that you need to move away from this situation. Your head will tell you all sorts of things. With the King of Swords, he's the type of dude that when he loves, as an archetype, I'm not saying that as an actual person, but as an archetype, because he's ruled by air, he loves what he sees. And he loves what people can do for him. And he loves what people represent. So he loves to see the package of a person. It's not the heart of a person often this person cares about. It's what they represent and what they can give and how they can add value to him in terms of what they represent, in terms of the outer of the individual. And yeah, the King of Swords loves intellect and loves cleverness and loves chatter and talk. But just as an archetype for the card, he's not particularly emotionally connected. So it might be that you need to avoid, I mean, for some of you guys, it might even be that you need to avoid, you know, completely disconnecting emotionally from the situation. That could be for some of you guys. But for some of you guys, just thinking about the other, you know, the other explanations for this card, you might need to try and avoid kind of just making decisions based on your head rather than your heart. Because it might be at this time that your heart is stronger and your heart is saying, no, best leave, best let this situation go. But your head might be saying, but what about this? And what about that? You know? What about staying because this person's great in bed? What about staying because this person's got a nice home that I can live in? What about staying because this person earns a good amount of money and I get to do what I want? Do you see what I mean? So it might be that you need to avoid making head over heart decisions because your heart is telling you, Cancerians, that you need to leave a situation behind, but your head might be saying to you at the same time, but if I do that, I don't get the perks, or I don't get the benefits, or I don't have a comfy home to live in anymore, or I don't have, you know, a good-looking boyfriend or girlfriend to show off with anymore, that type of thing. So I think it's the superficial things with the King of Swords energy that you may need to avoid. Some of you guys, it might be disconnecting completely emotionally, but I don't think it's that, because I think you need to disconnect emotionally from this situation because you're too much in it, Cancerians. You are karmic partners with this person. You have lived a past life with this person. The bond is very strong with those two cards in the reading. And your goal is to take one last look and then to mourn it and let it go. But the problem is it doesn't work like that, because your obstacle is this karmic tie you have to this individual, the fact that you've had a past life with them before. So it goes deeper than that. It goes a hell of a lot deeper. And that's why the theme of the week is to have strength. The strength of your convictions. And those convictions lie in your heart and not in your head. You know, this King, and when I talk about the reading like that, actually, Cancerians, it makes me feel to say that what you actually need to avoid is trying to kind of rationalise the whole thing. Do you see what I mean? Because you guys have such an intention to let a situation go, and it's coming from the heart. It's almost like you said, I've had enough of this. This camera looks very wonky again. Ugh. Sorry, I hate wonky cards on camera. Just, sorry, it's one of my really pet peeves. This could be the person, obviously, as I said, you should avoid. So this could be the person that you need to avoid. Definitely. And I think if it's the person that you need to avoid, it might be that you need to avoid them because they don't understand as much as you do the depth of the relationship. King of Swords would never believe in karmic ties. He'd never believe in past lives. The Sword people don't believe in bullshit. And I'm not calling it bullshit, but they don't believe in stuff like that. I've got a brother-in-law that's a King of Swords. And he doesn't believe in tarot. He says it's a load of bullshit. It's really funny, actually. He doesn't believe in black magic. He doesn't believe that people can put spells on people. He doesn't believe, you know, in anything that he can't see and feel and touch for himself. Doesn't believe in anything. And that's that dude there. So maybe you want to avoid the person. If this is the person, then you need to avoid them because they probably don't have as much connection as you do. The thing is, this looks like a twin flame shit to me because one of you is probably the runner, one of you is the chaser. You're probably the chaser and this is the runner, because usually I find that when you've got a runner, they don't really understand the depth and the intensity of a karmic connection. You understand it probably, Cancerians, but this person doesn't. And that's probably why you need to avoid them. So I'm going to say that this is a person that you need to avoid because they don't really understand your connection together. They're either not understanding it or they just want to ignore it. What is it that you need to embrace? Yeah, Hermit. That's it. See? Cards don't lie. You need to embrace that it is time for you to find a new beginning with the Hermit, to detach. Can you see how the back of the Hermit basically moves out of the King of Swords? This is definitely a person, but they're showing up as a King of Swords because they don't have as much of an emotional connection to the situation as you do. Or this could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancerians. It's one of the two. But they definitely just don't have an emotional connection. They would, you know, piss all over the idea of karmic connections. They really would. And yet you've lived a past, you've lived a past life together with the Six of Cups and that Wheel of Fortune. You've definitely lived a past life together. But they don't get it, and that's why you've got to let them go, because they're not on the same level as you. They're not on the same vibe as you. They really aren't. And you understand that. You're accomplishing your own personal values with the Empress energy. And your personal value is, I am beautiful, I am worth it, I am valuable, I am enough. This person doesn't think that you're enough though, probably, which is why you probably need to let the situation go. But you find it difficult because the connection is so strong. And you need to embrace the idea, or at least just completely embrace, that's where strength comes in, Cancerians, that you really need to let go. You need to detach yourself and distance yourself and walk away from this King of Swords. If you need support, where can you go? Well, the Four of Coins, probably home. People that value you, people that you're close to. I mean, the Four of Coins can also be a property. It can be a home. It can be a building of safety, of security. Remember, it's safety, it's secure. Four of Coins. So go to somewhere that you feel safe, secure. You can sit down, you can have a cup of tea, and you can have a biscuit, and you can discuss the whole thing, you know. Go to somewhere that you feel safe, the Four of Coins energy. Let's have a quick look. So this is definitely, I think, a love reading for some of you guys. Let's have a look at what the angels' advice is. Universe, Spirit, what is the angels' advice? Angels, what is the advice that you have for Cancerians on this reading? What is the advice that you have for Cancerians? Show me. Alright, it says no need to worry, okay, and to ask your angels. Alright, yeah, no need to worry and ask your angels. That's the advice. Let's have a look if there's anything else. Anything else you have to say, Cancerians, on this reading? Is there anything else you have to say? It's telling you to be assertive, and the situation will improve. If you're assertive, the situation will improve, okay? So no need to worry and ask your angels. Be assertive and the situation will improve. All right, we're going to come back with your second reading. Just bear with me. Okay, Cancerians, let's turn the cards. Firstly, other energies. So the Eight of Swords, sometimes this is secrecy, somebody not saying the words that need to be said. Sometimes the Eight of Swords is all about feeling trapped and bound. Hands are tied. Some of you guys are definitely stuck on the past. It's saying it in the first reading, wasn't it? Six of Cups shows up again, and that is being tied to the past. This is thinking about the past consistently over and over and over again. So it's still saying the same old thing for you. Four of Cups in the reverse is interesting. It's time for a new chapter this week with the Four of Cups in the reverse. All right? Because the Four of Cups in the reverse is all about time running out now. Okay? It's time for a new chapter and a new beginning with that Four of Cups in the reverse. Okay? You can't keep on mourning it. You can't keep on kind of, you know, deliberating over it and mourning it and moaning about it and feeling fed up and depressed and, you know, all the rest of it with that Four of Cups in the reverse. It's time for a new you know, it's time for a new chapter. It's time for a new beginning. So some of you guys still tied to the past, I'm afraid, here, but it is time for a new beginning this week with that Four of Cups in the reverse. Some of you guys will, you know, make that decision. And I think that is definitely what you would. And I think that the message for Cancerians this week is extraordinarily strong, because your first reading that we've just done has actually reiterated that. It's actually literally spoken about that situation and said that some of you guys have been trying to leave a past situation behind, and it's still showing it here in the general. Alright, you do know with the Four of Cups in the reverse you can't keep holding on to, you just got to let it go and move on. What's the next card showing up here? Yeah, Two of Cups. It's about time for a new beginning. You know it's time for a new beginning, and it's time to kind of, with this Four of Cups in the reverse, you know, being the new beginning card. It's one of the meanings for this card. Two of Cups, new relationships with the Two of Cups energy, and the Eight of Coins. They're at Four of Coins energy. Four of Coins is all about securing, but this is holding on to a relationship as well, because the Four of Coins is clinging to a relationship. Time to let go, Four of Cups in reverse, because some of you guys are clinging to a relationship here. So this week, I think some of you guys, these two energies here are saying that you are clinging to the past. Six of Cups energy showing here. And you're clinging to, so you know, both cards show clinging. Eight of Swords shows consistently bound, unable to stop thinking, because it's a card that talks about overthinking as well. Some of you guys consistently bound, overly thinking about the past, and you're still clinging to a relationship. I think this is the week where that changes with that Four of Cups in the reverse. Okay, this is the week where you decide for yourself, Cancerians, it's time to move on. Also, in your love area, let's have a look what's going on. So Six of Coins is an interaction. Engaging is the Six of Coins. I don't always like to use that word give and take. And to be perfectly honest with you, I never really get that give and take bullshit on this card, man. Sorry, but I don't. Because there's 3 people on it. This guy's giving to this person here, but then he'll turn around and give to this person. Can you see this person's drinking and he's giving food? So there's kind of like, I mean, it's the card of generosity. So I suppose we could say generosity in relationships, kindness in relationships. But also this can be a player card as well. Let's look at the next card. Well, no, I think it's good. I think, see, the tarot is tricky. And I think if it's going to be aspected by good cards, there's no need for me to read it in what I could read as being quite negative. It's not. I feel that some of you guys, you have a relationship with someone, and I think that is filled with support and generosity and help and love. Perhaps with that Six of Pentacles for some of you guys, and I feel that this is going to move you forward. I think this might help you to achieve with the Chariot energy showing up there. Success, but also we've got this Two of Wands. I don't really like how this looks. I really don't. I'm sorry, I don't. Because every single one of these cards can be, the Two of Wands can be where somebody is stuck between 2 paths, 2 people. The Chariot is not particularly a romantic card. It's where somebody is pursuing fun, and this can be the card of the player. I don't want to read it like that though. Let's have a look at the next card. No, I mean, Ten of Coins is a long-term stable relationship. So Two of Wands is at a crossroads though within a long-term relationship. Some of you guys here, I think that this is the key card here, where you seem to be at a crossroads in a long-term relationship. For some of you Cancerians, it could be a marriage. Some of you guys have been focusing and want to pick up the courage to move on with that Chariot energy. Possibly I think with this Six of Coins, because I'm not going to read it right across, I'm going to read it in the way that I feel that it makes sense. I feel that with the Two of Wands energy showing here, Cancerians, you've been really focusing on moving on from a long-term relationship, one that you've been at a little bit of a crossroads in for quite some time, okay? And this is about you kind of moving on and probably like checking out other people. The Six of Pentacles is playing the field. So some of you guys have really been focusing on plucking up the courage to move on, probably just play the field for a little bit with that Six of Pentacles there. I think since you're at a crossroads in a relationship, this Ten of Pentacles energy, and I'm definitely seeing movement, wanting to move away, with that Eight of Wands energy showing here. So I think for love, some of you guys, the central card is indicating you're at a crossroads in a long-term relationship. Okay? I feel that some of you guys have been focusing on, and you want to pluck up the courage to move on from this relationship with that Ace of Wands and that Chariot energy, and just play the field, just get to know other people as well. With the Six of Wands and Six of Pentacles energy is here, and all this is all about having the courage to go out there, move on, and probably seek new relationships with that Eight of Wands and the Six of Coins. So I feel that I do see a crossroads happening here for some of you guys in love. You know, somebody might interpret that differently, but I don't. I don't think it's interpretable for me when I look at these cards. This looks like the crossroads card right now, and you've got that Ten of Coins. You know, certainly the Two of Wands for me is about the beginning of a relationship, just getting to know someone. The building stage in terms of that card would have to be something like Seven of Coins or the Eight of Coins to show building. It shows gradual stuff, because this is a gradual card. So I think that because this is such a far away thing with this Ten of Coins, how do you get from a Two of Wands in a relationship to a Ten of Coins? Maybe for some of you guys, somebody has to pluck up the courage to move in, because this is moving. And this is home. So maybe somebody has to pluck up the courage to move home, for example. Okay, maybe somebody's got responsibilities to the family. Chariot. But then that's you as well. I'm going to read this a couple of ways. I think for love, Cancerians, number one, some of you guys are at a bit of a crossroads. And you have been for some time looking at, and this is you, the Chariot, taking control of the situation and moving on. Eight of Wands energy as well there with that Chariot, okay? I actually feel that you want to move on probably with that Chariot to, you know, just open relationships. You don't want to have anything too committed or too, you know, too burdensome. You just want to have some fun, which is what the Six of Coins can be as well. I think for some of you guys, it might also be, though, that you're waiting for someone here. It doesn't necessarily show waiting, but this Two of Wands, possibly this is somebody who has to pluck up the courage, or maybe you've got to pluck up the courage. It could be to move home, for example. Maybe you're moving in with a person or something like that. So it could be that as well, I guess, if I looked at the cards as well. It's not a bad reading, but I certainly feel the majority of this reading is about moving on from a relationship that's no longer working for you and just having other experiences and having a little bit of fun. The other energy into your work. So 9 of Cups, satisfaction and dreams coming true. 9 of Cups energy. Page of Swords in the reverse though. Gossip, underhandedness is the Page of Cups in the reverse. Slander. I think somebody's getting caught because I think this is you. Cups cards are their water and your water, Cancerians. I think you're being smug. I think there's a, let's have a look if there's a 7 of Swords or something reversed. Knight of Swords though. So I think somebody's leaving. I think a gossip might be leaving the workplace because the Knight of Swords is leaving. He's not chasing that Page of Swords. He's outside of it. So I think that some of you guys are feeling really happy actually within work this week, if that makes any sense. Because I think you've got somebody who's quite nasty. Somebody who's quite slanderous, rude, horrible. And I think that they're probably leaving. Because the Knight of Swords can mean to exit a situation. In this case, it's a job. 10 of Cups. Lots of happiness and joy. 10 of Cups energy. Yeah, Knight of Cups energy showing up here. So the 10 of Cups can also mean completion or successful. Some of you guys might be quite successful. It's regarding something of an offer or an invitation. So maybe this is a new job for you as well. I think some of you guys feeling really happy with that 9 of Cups. There seems to be a troublemaker or a gossip possibly leaving the workplace this week. But also with the 10 of Cups, feeling a sense of success and completion. Maybe this is regarding an offer that's coming your way. Because this isn't a job reading. Work reading is usually that you're being invited or you've got a job offer here. The 10 of Cups should really be saying that this has been quite successful. So you might find a job offer is, a job or something that you were invited to, like an interview, quite successful with the 10 of Cups. But I also feel you're feeling quite smug because there's a difficult person, Page of Swords in the reverse, who's leaving the workplace as well. Yeah, I think that's it. I was going to say something else, but I don't think... Yeah, the other thing with the Page of Swords in the reverse can mean that you're completely naive when it comes to certain things within the workplace. It might be that with the Knight of Swords energy, you're pursuing a new course or something like that. But I think it's mainly something to do with somebody who's lying or somebody who's quite slanderous. I think they're leaving the workplace. I think you're getting rid of someone. You look quite smug there. Dream coming true. Let's have a quick look at your advice for the week. Let's have a look at love. I think there's a crossroads in a relationship for some of you guys, and you have been really thinking about having to make a decision about moving away and kind of just living freely and pursuing other relationships, but no strings attached. And this can be no strings attached as well, the 8 of Wands, because there's no string, then nothing's holding them. What is the advice, romantic advice you have on this for Cancerians? It says flirt. There you go. This is what I was saying. Flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. And I think that you guys want to do that with that 6 of Pentacles. So it just says flirt. Because I do think that some of you guys feeling really held back in a long-term or a marriage or a long-term relationship here. And I think that you just want to kind of release yourself from the energy with the 8 of Wands. Move on with that Chariot and just kind of like see other people. Without any strings attached, and that's why it's saying just flirt, just have a good time with people. If you don't want to be in something long term that you're tied down by, then let it go. Let's have a quick look at your abundance. Universe, Spirit, what is it that you've got? What is the advice you have for Cancerians in terms of work? What is the advice you have for Cancerians in terms of work? Ask for your needs to be met. It says, God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped, and it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you as well. Okay. This could also be, though, I've just thought about it, if that's the case with that as well, it might be that you're feeling quite smug. Maybe there was something that you were really quite naive about, because this is the card of knowing nothing at all, Page of Swords reverse within work. And maybe with the Knight of Swords energy, you've been asking with that Knight of Cups energy. It just feels like you're asking for assistance, because the Knight of Swords can also be somebody who's coming to your aid. So maybe you're feeling quite smug. Maybe there's somebody who's come to your aid. Maybe this is something to do with a lack of information that you have concerning something to do with your job. Maybe you're asking for someone to aid you in completing a desire or something like that. That type of thing as well. But definitely ask for help from others with those cards there. And finally, let's just have a quick look at your tea leaf cards. I never mean the videos to be this long. They just end up being like this. You know, that's, yeah. They just end up being like this. Let's have a look. So, I'm trying to get 6 done today. If I can. A bit late now. Universe Spirit, can you just show me what is the advice that you have for Cancerians on just the general? It looks like they're still holding on to someone from the past, still clinging to a relationship, but they know they've got to let go of this week. 4 of Cups in the reverse, they've got to release it and move on. What's going on? What's the advice you have in 3 cards for Cancerians on that reading, or anything else in general? 1, 2, and I think this one here, 3. Okay, so the advice is, let's turn these over. First, Bear, danger, especially in money matters. So there's danger, especially in money matters, for some reason, for some of you guys. I don't think it's referring to this. This didn't speak about money here, so we'll put this here. There's danger in money matters, okay? So I would be very protective. The Bear's a very protective card, so I think that you need to really look at your money, okay? What's the other one? Tower, solid foundation and success with effort. So you've got a solid foundation and there will be success with effort, okay? So I think we can put this here as well within the work area as well. And Bow, you are highly thought of, okay? It's just saying that you are really highly thought of anyway, okay? I think we should put these all in that area there, actually. There's nothing coming in for this area here. I'll see if you can tell me any advice concerning, because I think this is a love reading. I think this is still someone that you're clinging to. Any advice through the love cards for this situation for Cancerians? They're clinging to a relationship. They're still locked in by the past, and they know that they've got to let go this week. Any advice for Cancerians on this situation, if you can? Just have a look. Trust. It says trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Okay? Alright, that's your reading, my darlings. I'd like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carrie's Universe. If you'd like a private reading, just click on the link in the comments section or the one at the end of the video. Alright, take care, guys. Bye-bye.